Namo Buddhaya. Dear Dhamma family, today from this book, Buddhist Wisdom, I shall read, taken from Dhammapada 251, The Great Defilements. It says, there is no fire quite like passion, nothing that takes hold like hatred. There is no snare like delusion, and there is no flood like craving. I think most of us in this Dhamma family is aware, of course, of the root defilements of greed or craving, ill will or hatred, and of course, delusion. These are considered our root defilements, based on the wrong perception of an independent, inherent, concrete I. We develop lots of self-centered thoughts, lots of selfishness, and from there, greed, passion, ill will, anger, delusion, ignorance arises. So in our quest to eradicate greed, ill will, ignorance or delusion, one of the worries that a Dhamma sister came to have is, will I become a stone? She fears that if I were to eradicate all these passion, all these emotions, then won't I become a stone, she said. Well, dear Dhamma family, I wish to assure you that in our path, in this walk that we all take to progressively lessen our greed, hatred, and delusion, we will not become heartless cold stones. Because what happens when greed, hatred, and delusion is eradicated? If we reflect back on the Four Noble Truths, we will remember that the first Noble Truth teaches us about the general unsatisfactoriness, stress, and unwholesome emotions that is inevitable in our lives. And the second Noble Truth tells us that it is this craving, this emotion that we want to have sensual pleasures, that we want to continue in some realm somewhere and live eternally, or that we wish to be rid of whatever that is unpleasant right now. It is these craving or emotional states which makes dukkha, unhappiness and stress rise. And the third Noble Truth tells us that we have to get rid of all these cravings, that we can be rid of these unhealthy emotions. And with that comes Nibbana, a state whereby craving, anger, ill will, delusion is eradicated. And we do that by walking the Eightfold Path. So then, I would like to share, dear Dhamma family, what is the end? What is non-greed? What is non-hatred, non-ill will? What is non-delusion? Because when you slowly walk this path, or some of us who may be very blessed do it in an instant, but for most of us, slowly, progressively, you will realize that the opposite of greed, that is, non-greed, is a mind that is selfless, a mind that can fully understand what other people go through, a mind that is no longer selfish or jealous, a mind that can truly now practice metta, karuna, mudita, a mind that can really say, loving kindness is my forte, compassion, and celebrating your success. As long as we are selfish, as long as we are greedy, even when there is just a tinge of it, none of us can truly and honestly practice metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha to its ultimate paramita stage. Similarly with hatred and ill will, non-hatred, non-ill will, only with that can one express metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. And of course the opposite of delusion and ignorance is wisdom. So dear Dhamma family, do not worry that you will turn into a cold, heartless stone, because while emotions associated with passion, anger are not wholesome, the mind which is rid of these emotions of craving, lust, passion, anger is a mind that is calm and still, and that is full of loving kindness, full of compassion. They can honestly say, I celebrate your success. And that can honestly say, I am equanimous in the face of gain and loss, praise and blame, pain and pleasure. Until then, most of us are acting it out, but still with a tinge, if not more, of self-centered thoughts. So please realize, dear Dhamma family, the states of Brahma Vihara are the outcomes when we are rid of greed, hatred, and delusion. These states will be our natural state of mind once we have got ourselves out of this delusion of independent self and the self-centeredness that actually affects almost every act that we do. It is a rare man, a rare woman who truly acts selflessly, without thought of gain, without thought of personal benefit, without thought of what do I get out of it. Hence, in our quest along this walk, we have to fully understand the Four Noble Truths. And here I wish to bring up a point that I hope all of us here will understand. The Four Noble Truths are not just truths, because when they were translated as truths, the instant Satya became a truth, it was placed on a pedestal. Oh, these are the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha Dhamma, sacred, placed on the pedestal, to be admired, talked about, speaked about in hushed tones. Dear Dhamma family, the Four Noble Truths are actually four noble tasks that all of us, every one of us, have to do. And the Buddha put it actually very, very clearly when he said that the Four Noble Truths each have three aspects, and each of them, with its three aspects, must be accomplished by us before these Four Noble Truths with three aspects, i.e. a total of 12 steps, is completed and we say we are awakened. For example, the first Noble Truth, Dukkha Satya. The first aspect is a statement which we must know, learn, hear. Learn from someone, read from somewhere. The second aspect is I must understand fully this first Noble Truth. And the third aspect, I have understood it fully. Similarly for the second, third, and fourth. The fourth aspect, for example, says this is the Eightfold Path. So I learn it, I read it, I hear it. And the second aspect says I must walk this Eightfold Path. And the third aspect, I have completed this walk of the Eightfold Path. So dear Dhamma family, the Four Noble Truths, I would actually be very happy if you look at it not being placed on a pedestal or an altar to be worshipped, but as four noble tasks that each and every one of us must fulfill, must do. In that way, the Buddha Dhamma becomes practiced. The Buddha Dhamma becomes our daily lives. Thank you very much.